Hey guys, and I did not want to make this video, mainly because I don't like the topic that I'm discussing, but I feel like most people in the YouTube boxing scene are talking about this, and this is something I'm very passionate about. Not going to be a long video because everything I'm saying has been said literally by everyone else, and you know, I don't create as many YouTube boxing videos as I used to. However, I had to say something in this particular subject, just because it is honestly pretty despicable what has happened. So if you guys know, Wade Plemons got fired from Misfits and he's back in now, and I'm not going to explain all of the drama and everything that happened, because if you're watching the video, you know what's happened, so it's not worth going into. But as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of KSI. I've supported him, defended him, made countless videos backing him, hating on the realist. You know, if you were in that time of the channel, you know what I'm talking about. And so it honestly surprised me when KSI, you know, tweeted what he tweeted and has said what he said, and is kind of doubling down on it. And it's shown that a side of him that I truly do not like. And yes, he apologized, but this man is almost 30 years old. You do not go... that's not how you run a business. That's not how you do things professionally. And to go off on somebody in such a vile, sophomoric, very disrespectful way is just abhorrent. There's no defending that. And he can't take those words back. He cannot take back what he tweeted back ever again. Like, that is something that he has to live with forever. I think that it's just interesting that, you know, he deleted those tweets, but then he still doubled down on his opinion, because in a recent Side Plus podcast, which has not come out yet, he said this.
Besides, you can say whatever you want, do whatever you want. That's cool. But I'm okay. I'm allowed to hate on it as well. Like, yeah. I'm allowed to not like his opinion. You're allowed to
disagree with his opinion.
Yeah. So with his opinion on the tag team...
Stop flinging your hand at me.
Sorry. So with the reason why I was like, he's two-faced is because behind the scenes, he's there like, this tag team idea, brilliant, I love it. And then online, he's there like, not sure about this. Don't think this is a good idea. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, bro... You 1 minute you're saying you like it to me in private, and publicly you're saying what the public want to hear. So with Wade, he just wants to constantly
be on everyone's good side, as a journalist would.
Yeah, he's got to play the game. That is his job role and his whole thing.
But I guess, obviously, that's going to rub me the wrong way.
Of course. Yeah. But the public don't have that full story. So they're seeing him put out this little clip, and then they're seeing you bug out over this little clip, and they're thinking, this is a massive overreaction.
I did bug out, and I do apologise. That was bad.
So it could have been simple, like fuck this guy. You was like, fuck your character.
You could have bugged out to him directly and been like, I don't agree with this.
I don't rate this.
Yeah.
And so the whole world didn't have to see it. And
that's why I decided to delete that, and I've messaged Wade and I've said, you know, I'm sorry. I can.
You said,
I'll say exactly what I said.
I think what you've done is arse, and then just say that privately. Say, I think what you've done is arse, man.
So I've told the man about him on firing you. I think that was a bit far. My outburst was uncalled for, so my bad. I'm sorry for the tweets. However, I just don't feel comfortable talking to you, fam. We can be civil publicly, but your comments just rub me the wrong way, just like Kavos does or other people. You can have your opinions, go crazy, but it don't mean I have to like them.
Yeah, that's fine.
And again, I just think that is so wrong. Because, listen, KSI getting this upset over an opinion that was done so respectfully is just weird. It's not like him to do that. And for him he obviously knew that he shouldn't have done that, but yet he did that. So, and yet he's at that point where he is saying stuff like that. And to me, that just shows a poor sense of character. That diminishes how I see him. That takes him down in the way that I viewed him. What I liked about KSI was he was a realist. He was someone that was able to take criticism, who was unlike Jake Paul. I mean, you know, Jake would take an insult from George and look like he was going to punch him in the face, you know, and KSI was so humble and down to earth and took these tough fights. And if you watch my videos, I've openly criticized his return to boxing and how he's really not been the KSI that we all have come to know and love and fallen in love with. And I think this further solidified my opinion that he has changed for the worst. And I do think Mams is very responsible for that change. I think he is a bit of a yes man. I don't think he's necessarily a bad person, but he's, I think, one of those managers that makes money off of you and then will leave you and doesn't really care about you. And has his own agenda. Now, again, just because Mams influences KSI, and, you know, the best comparison I use is this clip from The Lord of the Rings.
A just question, my liege. Late is the hour.
That's Mams, and then that's KSI. And Mams is poisoning KSI's mind. But KSI is 30 years old. And he is old enough and mature enough to not allow other people to influence him in these ways. And I just think that, again, everything was just wrong about it. And then KSI's defense of stuff going behind the scenes was Wade loved this tag team idea, but then in real life he was bashing it and criticizing it. My friend, you stupid head, you idiot. There is 4K quality, 2 videos of Wade Plemons respectfully talking about this subject. And he had open criticism because he was afraid of the fighter's safety. He was afraid of the fighter's safety. That's not only valid, but that is a clear example of a good commentator. He was so respectful. There was no disrespect. There was no criticism. Everyone criticized the Misfits tag team idea. Everyone did. Everyone did. To varying levels. Now, if Wade was like Pete Davidson when he was interviewing Jake Paul and Ben Askren, I 100% would get that. I would 100% get that. But, bro, we have it in 4K. We literally have it in 4K. Your argument is not valid. It is a fact that Wade has been nothing but respectful, has been nothing but he's a politician. Even when he got fired, he was like, yeah, don't say F you KSI. Even when Mams was going on in him, he was so respectful. This man is such a class act. He is more of a professional than KSI and Mams has ever been. Ever. And it just is astounding that the man that has literally kept YouTube boxing alive is the KSI and Jake Paul have a lot of their success to owe to Wade. Fact. Okay? He has kept this game alive. And to disrespect him, to kick him off, to fire him, it's just despicable. It's unredeemable. It's like you cannot take back the tweets, the Twitter spaces, any of that. It was there. And they still doubled down on it. Mams and KSI liked tweets of Keemstar hating on Wade after they apologized. And they gave the most generic PR apology literally a minute apart. I don't think they're sincerely sorry. And they don't think they've done anything wrong. Criticism at a disrespectful level, right, is one thing. But criticism, being respectful, being democratic, being, a politician about it, should not get you fired. Should not get you treated the way they treated him. Wade has been so... it's like, really, KSI? Really? Like, honestly. Like, who are you? You need to get your ego in check, my man. You need to get humbled. Because this attitude and this behavior, I don't like it. And I don't want to be a fan of you anymore, quite frankly. Like, listen, I obviously am, looking forward to KSI fighting Joe Fournier and all that stuff. I'm going to still support him. But I just don't... I just have a lesser opinion. I have less respect for KSI. And already I think this fundamentally hurts his legacy and Misfits. Because in all of the comments, even when after he apologized, justice for Wade, the Reddit has gone crazy. Like, this is irreversible damage that KSI is only making worse. The only thing that he can do is apologize, sit down with Wade, make a video with him, and basically not defend himself. Because KSI cannot defend himself for anything. You get that mad over that little bit of an opinion. That goes to show that your ego is so fragile. And who would want to work with you now? Who's going to want to work with Misfits? Because if we don't follow the Misfits script and the agenda, it's a dictatorship. It's a North Korea of YouTube boxing. And Mams being, so unprofessional with Gib, too. It's abhorrent. It's like, who is going to want to work with Misfits? me personally, I would love to meet KSI, but would I want to work for him? No! Why would I want to work for this guy if he's going to treat his employees like this? Why would anyone want to work with Mams and KSI? Why would any musician want to do that? Boxing is about giving honest, real opinions. And when people do that, it's because they care about KSI and they want him to succeed. And when you give yes men mentality, it leads to a bad place. And I just am shocked. And I never expected the day that I would openly like realists to make a hate video on KSI, but I hope he does. Because it's abhorrent. And again, and first of all, Logan Paul said it did 300 to 400K. Also, the second fight wasn't even a pay-per-view fight. It was based on subscription. You had to subscribe. There was no pay-per-view in the first place. And the fact that Mams didn't know that goes to show how much he knows about boxing. I don't think KSI should get rid of Mams necessarily, because I don't know if Mams... I don't think Mams is a bad guy, okay? But he's a terrible boxing matchmaker. Who thought... Okay, who would keep a guy that would put Swarms, who's never fought, with 2 weeks of training, with the guy that's been doing this for 3 to 4 years? Who would keep that guy? What person in their right mind would keep someone like that? Mams is an idiot. He is an actual idiot. He does not know boxing. He does not know how to make good boxing matches. He put someone's life at risk multiple times. With Swarms, with Hasim, with all of the face tempo. I mean, this guy is clearly so bad at matchmaking and has put real lives at danger and has proven himself to be an incompetent matchmaker who's had decent ideas, but overall is not someone that is fit to be in charge of all of this. He even was tweeting Hal Khanam's last fight and saying, you guys aren't going to find Misfits because you put on a boring fight. It's like, stuff like this is wrong. It's wrong. It's not what YouTube boxing is supposed to be. You're turning into the UFC, Mams. You're becoming Dana White, and no one likes Dana White. And no one likes the UFC model because they take advantage of their fighters, and this is not what Misfits should be about. They didn't fight Tyron Woodley because he was being too long with the negotiations. So they thought, oh, Danis can just sign, so let's do that. I mean, like, listen, like, are you trying to get KSI to win a fight or not? That's why I'm like, Mams is milking this. Because any person with any knowledge is like, KSI needs to fight a Woodley so he can be prepared for a foreigner. Woodley is a terrible opponent that KSI would beat, but he's durable, he's tough, he's got a chin. And they fight Danis instead. I mean, it's just... There is no logic to any of these decisions. And then KSI's like, oh, like, well, I fought Face Tempo instead of Slim or Woodley or Fury again because it's Southpaw. It's like, BS. BS. All of it is BS. It just, yeah. I'm mad. And Wade should not go back to Misfits. I know everyone wants him to go back to Misfits, and maybe he can, but after he got treated, I would not be going back. KSI, you need to get humbled. You need to get yourself in check. You and Mams are 100% in the wrong. Objectively fact. And there was no defending ifs or buts. And the way you handled it was just despicable. And it's so interesting how people like Fox the G, for example, post this really diplomatic video saying, yeah, I don't think Mams is a bad guy, and he gave me so much, and I don't think they were in the wrong, and there's stuff behind the scenes I don't know. It's like, nah, man, nah. I know that he's trying to keep his job. He's not trying to get kicked off of Misfits, okay? And that's why no one in this space is as honest as I am, okay? Because that guy, Fox the G, great guy, like him. I've done stuff with him before, but he was being a little bit of a baby. He was literally scared. Like, he was not telling it how it was. That's not how you tell it how it is. No one in their right mind should be, yeah, I think this is cool, and yeah, no, you have to be angry. If you are a true KSI fan, you are angry. You are criticizing him. You are telling him how it is. And people like Fox the G, they're being so Nah, this isn't the time to be diplomatic. If they're not going to be diplomatic, we're not going to be diplomatic. Like, subscribe, and comment. And, yeah. And as for KSI versus Joe, great that that's happening. I don't think KSI is going to win. I think Joe's going to win. Kind of want Joe to win now. But can KSI win? Yes, because KSI has the youth. Joe has in the past had cardio issues and he is older. But again, I think this is very similar to Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. And I just think the guy with better experience and more IQ will beat JJ. And if Jake loses to Tommy, then that makes it perfect because then they both lost. And then they can fight each other at the end of the year.